20 years ago this month, the blizzard of '96 paralyzed much of the mid-Atlantic from western Virginia to New Jersey. And last weekend, many of the same areas got an encore. I thought I'd share a few thoughts on this most recent historic storm. First, you've probably noticed the winter storms in this age of social media get names. The Weather Channel called this one Jonas, while the folks who cover weather at the Washington Post informally dubbed it Snowzilla. Neither name is officially recognized by the broader weather community, and to me it'll just be the blizzard of 2016. And true blizzard conditions did verify from Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard to as far south as northern Virginia, and many points in between. Let's talk nuts and bolts of big East Coast snowstorms, because this one had them all. At upper levels, there were two distinct branches of the jet stream. High pressure riding the northern one helped lock in the cold air. In the area where those jet streams met, known as a confluence zone, a speedy pocket of winds called a jet streak formed. Another jet streak was embedded in the southern branch. And when two jet streaks get this close, there's often a sweet spot between them that's very favorable for pressure to fall near the surface. And that energized the coastal storm. At lower levels in the atmosphere, that cyclone circulated a lot of relatively warm, moist air inland, likely juiced by anomalously warm ocean water just offshore. The contrast between that flow and cold air farther inland in the lowest few thousand feet of the atmosphere was concentrated in a zone from northern Virginia to southern New England, a process called deformation or frontogenesis. And that's where multiple intense snow bands tend to form on the northwest side of a storm. These bands often remain nearly stationary for hours, while individual elements within them move over the same areas. So 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour can accumulate if you get in one of those bands. In part, those bands help explain the sharp northern edge to this storm. Here's just a couple examples. Between two small communities in southeast New York, just 12 miles apart, you went from no snow to a foot. And in Pennsylvania, just 50 miles separated less than 2 inches at the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport to almost 32 inches in Allentown. Though the snow got most of the attention, coastal flooding was also historic in parts of the mid-Atlantic, where strong northeast winds blowing for many hours over a long stretch of ocean produced record-high water levels at Stone Harbor and Cape May, New Jersey, and Lewis, Delaware. Through 3 high tides, the streets of coastal communities such as Ocean City, Wildwood, and Sea Isle City filled with a hurricane-like surge of frigid water littered with chunks of ice. Finally, it's worth noting that the American computer models and the much ballyhooed European model all did pretty well forecasting both the sharp northern edge of this storm and the huge area of big snow. But the American models actually did better in capturing the extreme snow amounts. Fred will be back next with the extended forecast.